In this episode, we're diving into the most essential chord progression in jazz, which is a 2-5-1, which is perfect if you're transitioning from blues or rock or folk music, or if you just need a little brush up. Why is this important? Well, the 2-5-1, and yes, that's how it's pronounced, 2-5-1, not I-I-V-I, is the progression that appears in virtually all of the standards. So whether you're just getting started with adding a jazz touch to your blues, or if you want to learn standards or even more modern jazz and fusion stuff, you will have the 2-5-1 appear. So let's get going with the theory in the fretboard. What is a 2-5-1? It is a diatonic chord progression, meaning that all chords come from the same key. The Roman numbers 2, 5, and 1 represent the scale degree on which these chords are built. So let's do a quick example with this. If we are in the key of C major, we simply have to count the 2, 1, and 2 to get to the D minor chord. So that would be a D minor 7 in our case. You could do C major 7, of course, to D minor 7. So we simply have to count up, and it doesn't matter which key we're in, which we'll get back to in a moment. And to get the 5 chord, we simply do the same process. In our key of C, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C, D, E, F, G, and then we will get a G7 dominant. So formula recap. You have the 1 chord, which is our home key. We want to keep it in mind. You go up 1 note, 1 letter name, you get the 2, which is a minor chord, and you go up 5 letter names from the root chord, the 1 chord, and you get the 5, which is dominant. That's it. So simply remember this. 2, 5, and 1 Roman would be in the key of C, D minor 7, G7, C major 7. That should be your template. So here's a fingering hack for guitarists. If you're doing the C major, you can always find your next chord, the D chord, 2 frets up. So it counts whether you're here playing a C or if you're here playing a C, you always go up 2 frets. That's simply that. If you want to find your G, what you do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a power chord shape. So you could either go up a 5th like this, or you could go down a 4th, which is the other string. If you're here, and you can't go bottom string because you don't have a 7-string guitar, say, or 8-string Meshuggah, anyone? And you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's still this power chord shape. So remembering and seeing the visual of, oh, my root is here, or my 2 is here, my 5 is here, is really what's going to save you when you start to transition into weird keys. So what did I mean by weird keys? So keys to which there would be some sharps and some flat. You know, so we're guitarists, so how about we did E major? We go E, all right, the E is here, right? So everyone, E major 7 is good, but what about that 2 chord? So we go 1, 2, go, that's an F sharp, right? It's an F sharp minor 7 by definition, because if I played an F minor 7, this is not the 2 in the key of E major, right? So you need 2 here, and then if you want your 5, you simply go to a B7. So you will recognize these chords because patterns come back around in different keys. So whether you do the key of E, or the key of A, or the key of B flat, the pattern is the same. The distance is always the same, and you can transition to different keys like this. Even if you don't know all the note names, all the flats, and all the sharps, you have this quick shortcut handy for guitar. A really important thing to master as well, if this is your brush up, it's not your first exposure to 2-5-1, you will notice that the chords evolve in the cycle of fourths. So if you're on a D note, because we're in the key of C, that's your 2, you'll go up a 4th to go to your G. From D to G and to C. So notice this is up a 4th. The thing is, any key you would aim at goes up a 4th like this. So if you pick a random note, say I go here on my fretboard, go, oh, this is F. So if this is my 1, this is my 5, and this is my 2, 2, 5, 1, right? So to recognize that the chords appear in this order of the cycle, some people, my students, get the poster on the wall and go, oh, D, G, C, all right, that's the chord progression. This can really help you visualize, even if we transition keys, that things are always going up a 4th. There's no voodoo or magic in the different keys. So if you're still sticking around, let's do 2 more things. Notice that you can add chords after the 2-5-1. For instance, if I'm in the key of C major and do my 2, and then I do my 5, I do my 1, if I keep going up a 4th, so that's D, G, C, F would be the next chord. So now we would have the progression D minor 7, G7, C major 7, F major 7, or F major. F is the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you take me up on my previous suggestions to look at this and all the cycle of fourths, it's only natural to go up a 4th, up a 4th, up a 4th, and then once more. I keep in my mind the fact that the C is the home key, naturally, but all of these chords evolve around it. So there's only 7 notes and thus 7 chords in the key, so that now we have 4 chords. We have the 2, the 5, and the 1, and we have the 4. So we're covering more than half of the territory of that key. Naturally, if we can append, this is a computer science term, if you can append a chord to 2, 5, 1 and then what comes after, we could also prepend or put a chord before the D minor. So if I'm going up a fourth, up a fourth, up a fourth, what would be before? It would be an A. So I can add a chord before the 2, 5, 1, and in this case we call it the 6 chord. So go 6, 2, 5, and 1, and you can construct this and sew them together. You can stick all of the chords to the key together, and just a quick spoiler alert, if you did that well, and you start on the 2 chord, and you keep going it 1 bar each, you wind up with the progression to Autumn Leaves, and the progression to All the Things You Are, the progression to Fly Me to the Moon, and a lot of, is it Somewhere Over the Rainbow? There's a lot of standards that just do a complete cycle. Oh yeah, I Will Survive, you know, the pop hit. So the chords just keep on coming and they progress through all of the chords within the key in the cycle of fourths. All right, last point for more advanced players. You guys will look at charts or people will tell you, use iReal, you see G7 flat 9, like what's that? Keep in mind that looking at the chord progression from this very basic standpoint, D minor 7, G7 to C major 7 can be extended in a lot of colors. Namely, one of my favorite approaches would be D minor 9, going to a G7 13 to C major 9. You still hear it's the exact same progression, it's still a 2-5-1. The bass player will still do the same thing, the song is the same, but it's a more colorful version of it. That'd be one way to do it. Another way to color would be D minor 9 to D minor 11 to G13, flat 13, sharp 9, to C major 9, 6, 9 with a sharp 11. You know, I could go on with chords that look like postal codes in Canada, but the progression is still the same. It does not denature it, and you will often find that modern takes like Spyrogyra, or Pat Metheny, or UZEB, the Montreal band from the 80s, or even Yellow Jackets will have these progressions, but instead of going like this, it will go like... So it's still a 2-5-1, but it's sort of hidden in the sky in that we added a G root and we did this to it, and there may be a walking bass down to the other thing, and it will change the quality of the 2 chord to a dominant altered red, but it does not denature that the chords progress in that natural order. And if you've been schooled in classical music, you'll notice that it's essentially a big 5-1 movement. It's a big dominant to tonic movement. That's what the 2-5-1 is. Whether we extend it, whether we append chords after, or whether we add colors, that's still the nature of the game. Just that jazz players like these colorful chords. Okay, before I let you go, there's just one key mindset tip. Whether you're playing your first jazz standards or you've learned 10, one of the things, the importance to keep in mind, the home key. So if I'm in the key of C, namely, or I was playing the introduction, the key of E flat, on Green Dolphin Street, so there's this 2 chord, which is the F to the B flat 7 to the E flat major. When I do this, it's important to keep in my mind's eye that I'm in that key. I'm in the key of E flat major. Whether I'm here or even cycling from before, I still see and think in my mind that this is the home key. This will be a slight difference if you've been doing a lot of rock or blues or pop, in that you hit the chord and the first chord is 1, and you're like, okay, that's the key. In jazz, often we establish the key later on, so we're just like going on a slip and slide in order to get to that key. Actually, this is a tip I have for lots of students. If you want to know the key to a standard song in jazz, start with the last chord, not the first chord. That's sort of a secret. So that's your 2-5-1 in a nutshell, a great introduction or a brushing up, essential, timeless, modular. You can add stuff, and remember to always keep the home key, the one key, in your mind's eye, because that's where you're going to make most progress. Of course, you should try this in multiple keys, and if you just address the basic, like well-known standards, you will look at All the Things You Are, Stella by Starlight, and Giant Steps, and Girl from Ipanema. You will see the 2-5-1s in so many keys, so that's why I keep saying, hey guys, the tune is where the lesson is. The tunes are where everything is. So let me know if you have any questions about this, or if there's any other topics on the 251 or other topics you'd like to see, please drop me a comment, because there's other places this can go. We can look at a minor 251. We could look at how 2/5s can be superimposed on top of bebop tunes or blues heads. We could also look at, scale choices that are departures from the typical ones, or, countless examples from famous guitarists, piano players, etc. So on that note, I'll let you go. I'm Marc from Jazz Guitar Lessons. Please like and subscribe this video, and I'm always grateful for your watching and comments and engagements with the video. I'll see you soon on the Fellowship, the free platform, which is on School, and also link in description for the podcast, blogs, standards, up the wazoo, everything you've ever needed to learn jazz guitar with. It's already published somewhere on the website, most likely. So I'll see you there. Take care. Bye.